Christo. It's good to see you again. It's been a while since we've had a meeting. A lot has happened in the last 2 years.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Well, it was one hell of a journey, and yeah, so many things has happened in between. So yeah, at this stage I'm overjoyed with all the things that was happened.
That's the thing I remember about you, Christo. No matter what problems would come in, you always had a positive attitude.
You definitely need to have a positive energy and attitude to do go with this journey. Yeah, if you don't have a positive, yeah, because your head must be 100% into it, and you need to work towards a goal. And once you reach your goal, you must set another goal. And so, yeah, you must be positive the whole time to it, because you will get your ups and downs. And yeah, for me, it's always take the downs to make it into a positive and work onto that.
I totally agree. After seeing many people find success, it seems the ones that do it faster are the ones that have a more positive attitude, and they don't get set back by the challenges as much. They look at it in a positive way and find, like you say, they find the positive side to jump over, learn a lesson, for example.
Exactly.
Yeah. You are I enjoyed the first meeting with you because I understood you're very talented. I enjoyed developing the profile with you because we got a chance to go into details of your skills and what you do and how you do it and who you manage and the different companies you worked for, different maintenance programs that you set in. So we really got into a lot of details of diverse skill sets, different environments. And then we brought that out. You have, at the time, you set the record for the best photo portfolio. And you even said you had the attitude, share it with everyone, let everyone benefit. So I used your CV because you followed my course. You were an A, I mean, if you want to say it, A student, you know, like a 5 out of 5 student, you know, got the best grades because you listened to everything that I said and implemented it perfectly. And I was actually quite proud because I thought, hey, this works. My CV course works.
Well, let me put it to you this way, Tate. It works. That I can put 100% on it. And yeah, there's no doubt about it. And I even tried it out in South Africa as well with the few companies that I was working for, and at the time being in COVID. So we know about COVID, everything was been locked down. So, but yeah, I tried it out in South Africa. That works. Even in South Africa, it was working. And even through that, not South Africa, even in New Zealand, I was tried out here and sent out, and yes, I got many responses back onto it, and all good responses. I can't even recall one negative response that I get from it. And yeah,
that's amazing. And you ended up with you ended up choosing one job offer over the other one. Is there anything you want to, well, maybe we can go back. Let's go perhaps to the beginning. There was interruptions, not any fault of yours, completely with the border, not any fault of mine, and also not any fault of the employers. The border was locked down. But you started to make some progress during the border lockdown anyway. And I think you were hired after the borders came up in the end of the year this year. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, just closely. Yeah, when things start opening up slowly, and I sort of the gates start going open. So yeah.
Was it August or earlier, June, July, maybe something?
I think it was more here by June, July.
Yeah, I think it was July 4 that the borders opened up. And you just jumped right in somewhere in that area, huh? Either before or after.
That's correct.
Yeah, so you were the first, one of the first ones come in, one of the first of my clients to enter in. I recall that now. Yeah. So how was that? Maybe we can start there, because we probably don't have too much to talk about during the border closed, and it's kind of depressing. But then
well, even with yeah, if I can slowly go back a bit, yeah, even with the border closing, it wasn't really, yeah, it was depressing because you couldn't do much, but that was a perfect opportunity for me. I could work on all that skill sets and take that knowledge that I've learned from you and try and develop on it and work onto that and preparing for once the gates is open and getting all that reactions onto that. So yeah, it was try to build a relationship with companies as far as possible. Yeah, then once the gates is start opening, yeah, I was applying for one company. Yeah, we know with the new visa systems that was coming in, a token system, everybody, it's a total new ground it was. So yeah, I was waiting for one company, and then while I was waiting for that, I was doing a second interview also for another company at the same time. Unfortunately, the second one was a little bit faster with everything, and I got that job offer onto that, and yeah, even with better things that I put onto the table for me, and I grabbed it with open arms from there. So yeah, it was basically very close to each other. It was more of the one first before the other one, and yeah, in my case, I couldn't wait for the second one to come back.
Yeah. First come, first serve, right?
Correct.
And it was the better opportunity that you ended up with anyway, right?
Correct.
Okay, great. And so then there comes the time before you get hired, there's the waiting of the token before you can start work.
Yes, yeah.
And then there comes the time where how many, were you interviewed once or twice in order to be confirmed?
In the first job offer, I was interviewed twice. So yeah, it was two interviews there. And then with this current job offer that I got, well, the job that I got now, I was only interviewed once.
Okay.
Yeah.
The skills that you have, you would keep getting job offers. I have no doubt about that. But you decided to finish with one, and that makes sense. You can just get started with your life. Now you're in New Zealand.
Exactly.
Where should we go to next? Should we go to your landing in New Zealand? What's the next most interesting point after getting hired?
Yeah, I think after hiring was try to get everything sorted out from South African side, especially with the timelines and to know when you need to start it. For me, it was quite a journey from that because I didn't got a fixed time on when to start it. So for me, it was more basically try and get there as soon as possible. And then once you're here, then we can work towards the date that you started. Yeah, so I think that was basically that for me.
Finish up. It has to do with the house, with the work, with other details.
But also with that, you need to do your planning way up front. Start preparing, do planning, and do researching up front before. Like me and the wife, so I basically split those things in two halves. So I give the wife a little part of that to exercise, to start studying and researching for me, so I can take that knowledge and work onto that, to preparing ourselves for the journey to once we landed here. And yeah, once we landed, yeah, it was just joy all the time.
Just joy all the time.
Yeah.
So for people listening here, let's put it this way. If you had to give yourself advice, number one, you would plan. And when you say plan, you mean specifically immigration related, or you mean specifically job related, or what?
Everything.
Yeah.
Immigrating related, job related, everything that you can think of and more.
Okay.
The more knowledge you got about what you can. Once we landed here, there's still things that I didn't even plan for, that I thought, okay, that side I was already got, my basket's overflowing. And once I landed here, I see, no, I didn't even got half a glass yet.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, plan as much as possible as you can and get it.
All right. You can't do too much planning. That's the message I'm hearing from you.
Never.
So then you land here. First impressions. I'm interested in your first impressions. What the first day, first week, how is it? How is that feeling?
Yeah, like I said, once we landed, yeah, we know that was that once we entered through the customs, through borders, once we went through that gate, we know that was that we were settled. We done here. We here. We finally make it till here. Yeah, then we stayed we were in a lucky situation that I could stay with friends of us for a week. Yeah, for a week, 2 weeks about that we could stay with. And in that same time, once we landed, we landed a Friday. We got basically the weekend off to a bit relaxing. Then from that Monday, we will start looking for houses. Even the housing is total different from South Africa. It's nothing what you see. If how can I say what you see in the pictures and the brochures, what you're seeing, and to once you come here, it's a total different thing. The best I can give people is come out, have a look at the houses themselves, and then you can decide on. But yeah, once again, it comes back to preparing yourself, because you need to know what you're letting yourselves in and what type of house you can looking for. Doesn't help you going for a $2 billion house if you can only afford a $6,000 house.
Mm-hmm. So the housing sorted out, and that took a while. 2 weeks you had before you started work. You had 2 weeks.
Yes, 2 weeks to sort that out. So yeah, we were lucky. We got the house in a week's time. We got our first house also. So we moved in. Everything was happening so quickly and fast. But yeah,
for here, that's very fast. So did you have friends help you with the house, or did you
no, not really. So they just lined up 1 or 2 houses for us just to get a feeling of how it's been done.
Yeah.
And once we got that feeling and how it's been set and see how it's been done, we took everything over, and me and the wife run with it. And
okay.
yeah, we got as much possible houses as we can in a week's time and get everything in. So yeah,
Now, I've heard with housing that a lot of landlords or the real estate broker, they have a lot of choice. So they try to find the best one. And if you have a job, that's one good indicator. If you have a family, that's another good indicator. If you're a certain age, not too young, but not too old, that's another. So there's things they look at: smoking, pets, things like that.
Correct, yeah. So a whole category of things that they're looking for, and that you need to have in your place.
Okay. And do you want to say which town or region you're in? Is that okay, or how?
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm at this stage. I'm in Auckland. What's the closest? Botany. Botany is the closest area I'm at. So yeah, I don't think that people will really know the suburb, because it's so small little suburb.
Yeah, no, Auckland.
Yeah.
So your commute to work, is it far from home?
Yeah, my work is a little bit far, but the thing is, I'm working at this stage all over Auckland. So I'm not at a specific place in Auckland. But the company itself is based in Auckland. Then, but yeah, I'm about an hour's drive from my home at this stage. Okay. But the difference from the situations, and it varies all the time.
I was the same when I started. I was also in Auckland, and it took me at least an hour each way every day. And I've done it before in a different country. You get used to it.
That's correct.
All right. So the work, maybe some of the differences. So housing is different. The city is different. The people are different. The work is different.
Everything is different from what is in South Africa. It's even the people that you work with. It's a total different atmosphere. It's a different cultures. It's even your equipment is it's not the equipment itself is not different. It's the terms that are using for the equipment that makes it difficult. Where we learned one name for a tool, they got basically 6, 7 names for that same tool or that material item. It's try to get all that 6 names to remember them, so you got the right equipment or the right material or what. That's a challenging at this stage for me to get that all under knowing.
Yeah. How about were you welcome? Were you feeling comfortable with your team?
Yeah, no, very welcome. These people open you with open arms. there's not one stage that I didn't feel unwelcome or
Fantastic.
yes. So it's very, everybody is friendly. It's helpful. They try to help you, and it smiles all the time.
Do you find the work more challenging or same or less challenging as far as day-to-day tasks?
At this stage, yeah, I'm not really onto what I've been done on South African side. So yeah, I got a little bit of a job role difference here. So that it takes the challenging, but not as much as what it is. So yeah, I think basically you can give yourself a month or so just to get into the thing. Then you will know you got everything underneath.
Yes. Well, you haven't been working too long, right? So how many weeks is it now?
It's now my second week.
Oh, second week. So I'm asking an unfair question. This is God.
No.
Do you feel that there's a work-life balance yet? Is it too early to answer that? Do you sense that they care about your work and they care about you also outside of work?
No, definitely. They care about your work life, work and house related.
Yeah.
So they try to balance everything out as
Yeah.
much as possible.
Yeah. How about with upward mobility? So I'm guessing you start off at a point where, correct me if I'm wrong, oftentimes clients will start off lower than where they were before because management is not possible from the first role.
Yes.
Projects or people is not possible. But what you can do is you can have a vision towards that direction. Is that possible to talk about? Have you talked about that with your boss yet? Having a vision towards growth?
Yes. Yeah. No. Yeah. He's got a vision with me, and we had a little talk. And yeah, and I'm at this stage. My first few days, I was basically sweeping the floor.
Yeah.
So starting straight down to basics, bottom. It's not that I don't trust you, but I also want to learn you to see what your knowledge is. So basically going all the way back to from where you're starting from scratch. You can't really want to walk into a manager's position if the person, the bosses, and no one really knows you. So they want to see you, they want to learn you. So you need to start from the floor up and work your way up again. And that was totally fine with me. I got no problems with that. So, and I mentioned to him, and I'm happy to where that I am. So, but I'm working my way up to where I need to be. And that's what we had the discussion to.
That's great. You have that discussion so early. That means they're interested in your added value, not just to keep you in a box. They're interested in that value that you have experience.
Yes.
So maybe we've covered work for the most part. If you think of something else, just let me know. How about the weekends or the off work? Have you had a chance to spend, it's only a couple of weeks, but you've been here for 4 weeks, I guess, approximately.
Yes, yeah. So, like I said, the first 2 weeks was a little bit crazy that we were running around and trying to get house and settle down. So yeah, we didn't got much time to go out and have a look on what was happening. And yeah, so the last weekend we want to go out and explore the cities and see what's around us.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the weather was a little bit not on our side, so we couldn't do much.
Yes, I see.
I presume that's how the nature is. You can never know. But yeah, so hopefully by this weekend we can go out and explore things and see what's going on.
Yeah. When I was in Auckland, I really enjoyed both the eastern side, which was more calm and more crowded and more of a community, shops and cafes and that by Mission Bay. Yes. And then the other side is wild. There's not much people. It's surprising you're still in Auckland because you look around and it's a beach. You think beaches are crowded. It's a big city, 1/3 of the country. It's not crowded. Bethel's Beach, Muriwai Beach. And it's these beautiful big birds, gannet bird colony. There's very interesting to go. I like the west side very much. So you'll have a chance to see that.
No, we'll definitely go and have a look at it.
And yeah, well, your first impressions coming in so far, it's still sort of in the first impression area. 1 month in, 2 weeks working, you're still settling in. And so far, you still have a good attitude. Well, you've always had a good attitude. Was it worth it? Was all this effort worth it?
Definitely, yeah, everything is definitely worth it. What I can say is hang on there, work it, be positive, and do research. Do as much as possible that you can in your powers. I mean, there's lots of technology is so fast and advanced at this stage, so use what you got to your powers and use it. And so for me, it's worth it every second. From wife side, kid side, we can't recall one moment that's not anything.
And here you are in the new country. You're settled in. You're happy. You're confident. You're with a company that cares about your future, and you know that you've got everything to look forward to. And this hard work that you've done, you used these delays to your advantage. I remember that you kept improving things. The CV was improved. The photo portfolio was improved. We made a couple of video CVs for you. And I think the communication that I got from your employer was that they were very impressed with the skills sheet that you made, because they were testing you on some of they were asking you some questions, and it was exactly it made perfect sense. All of these the time that you spent on the tools and what you were doing with the fabrication, and they clearly understood you very quickly because you spent the time to make it clear. It's really, really good value. And you were also very nice and generous with sharing and helping some of my other clients feel comfortable with some of the advice that you gave through your efforts. And I did transfer some of your, like the CV. I have this comparison between the before and after, and you were nice enough to allow me the before and after. The difference, and it's quite good. So it seems that everything you touch is turned into a more positive experience for the people, for the employers, for the documents. I can imagine that your employer is very lucky, and I'm honored to have spent time with you and work with you in this capacity, because it couldn't happen to a better person, and New Zealand is better now for it. Your employers are better, the community is better. We're bringing the best of the best over here, and it's sad for the country that loses you, but what choice do you have?
That's true. That's true. The pleasure is mine to work with you as well, Tate. I can't thank you enough for all the knowledge that you gave me. Like I said, your program is working 100%. If there's no way that someone can doubt about it, it is working. And I tested it. Like I said to you, I tried it. South Africa said this side, I tried it, and it is working. So there's no doubt about it.
Well, I have the honor of meeting really talented people, and I help them realize their dreams over something that I do every day. So if I do something every day for 14 years, and if I'm not pretty good at it, something's wrong.
Exactly. So you need to be good.
Yeah, I need to be good. Yeah. Great to talk to you, Christo. I look forward to keeping in touch. Whenever you're in my part of the country, please stop by. And when I'm over there, if it's on a weekend, if it's during a holiday or something, I'll give you a ring as well.
That's good. We'll make it. Thanks, Tate.
Take care.
By doing pipe work, fabricating, and you could get up to 12mm mild steel plates and to 8mm of stainless steel plate. These are again some of my light and heavy metals, and even metals that I was working on: copper, stainless steel, mild steel, light.